Now, I definitely made quite a few mistakes through this renovation, and I've picked up 7 of the biggest mistakes I've made, and I want to share them with you in a hope that if you're doing a renovation, you can learn from me and not do the same stupid mistakes that I've made. Now, the very first mistake happened before I even picked up a tool and did any work in the kitchen. I was actually on a job site on a Monday morning, and I received a call telling me that there wasn't much work on for the rest of the week, and I could have the week off if I wanted to. So straight away, I called up a skip bin company, ordered a skip bin for the next day, and that night, me and my partner Ash came home and we set up a temp kitchen, which we were going to use for the next month or two. Now, thinking a month or two was very naive. One big thing you always hear in renovations is that they always take longer than you expect. And I wish we spent some time doing some proper planning to make the area more livable before we started the reno. Now, the 2 biggest things I would have done differently was use a sink that I've ripped out of the kitchen and ask my plumber to set that up outside for me. That way we can wash our dishes there instead of carrying them to the bath every single night. And even better than the sink, I would have set up a washing machine outside as well. We didn't have a laundry for quite a while, and every week I was grabbing all my clothes, heading to my mum's house and doing a few loads of washing there. Now, throughout this renovation, there was a lot of skills I was doing for the first time, such as plastering, doing the cornices, doing the tiling, and I learned a lot from that. The plastering especially did my head in. I just couldn't get a hang of it, but the good thing with doing a plaster is you can just keep sanding it back and keep going until it looks great. So I was applying more coats on top of it, I was sanding it back, and I got it all to a point where it looked pretty good. I was quite happy with it. By the time we chuck some paint on it, it's going to cover up any of the imperfections of the paint. It's all going to be the same color, and it's going to look great. But I was wrong. It turns out if you've got the smallest imperfection in your plaster, by the time you put some paint over it, the paint is going to magnify it, and it's going to look 10 times worse. Where I had a few horizontal joins, if I looked really closely, I could see the smallest little mound for where that plaster was. Barely even noticed it, but by the time I painted it, there was just a shadow on the wall, and it just stood out like a sore thumb. So I had to go through, sand that back, repaint the wall, and that was a big mistake I made there. And another job that I've never done before was installing cornice. And this is something that is killing me right now, and I've got a lot of regrets. Because I was doing such an average job with the plaster, I definitely didn't want to do the square set reveal, and I thought cornice was a quick and easy way just to hide the tops of where your plaster meets. I've never done it before, and I thought it'd be an easy, quick alternative to doing square set reveal, and I was so wrong. I don't love the look of a cornice, and it is still hard to get that right, get it looking neat, and I think it would have been just as easy to do a square set finish, and I reckon it would have looked so much better. The room would look greater, everything would just flow better, it looks more modern. So I'm kicking myself, and my recommendation is don't do the cornice, just try the square set. I reckon it will look great. Now, another job I've never done before was actually installing all the cabinets. And for the most part, it wasn't too bad, apart from the overhead fridge cabinet right here. So this fridge cabinet is behind the divider, it opens up like that, and this thing is only about 300mm deep. So it finishes here, and we've got a gap behind that divider. When I was installing the cabinets, that was the first one I put up in here. So I didn't have the divider in yet. There was going to be no way in my mind that I just have a cabinet floating right there. So I pushed it all the way back against the wall studs, screwed it off, made it solid, it was well supported, and then we put the divider up. I screwed it into the divider, but then straight away I was looking at it and I was second guessing if that was right or wrong. Obviously that was wrong, and I've gone through and fixed it now, but trying to fix that was a nightmare. Because I had to pull that forward, I couldn't screw it off to the studs at the back, and I could only screw it to this plasterboard here, which didn't have a stud where I needed it. So instead of it being a quick fix by pulling that cabinet forward, I had to cut a hole out of the plaster, which was already painted, already done. I had to try to get a nog in there, which was a nightmare in itself. And then obviously replaster, repaint, and then I can finally put this cabinet back up there. And this one really annoyed me because it should have been something that was so simple that turned out to be this massive job by replacing that plaster, repainting it. Obviously, I'm having to wait a few hours between coats and plaster. I've got to do a few coats of the plaster, then I've got to paint it, wait for the paint to dry, paint it again. So it almost took a good week just to move that cabinet forward. And I think that would almost tie into the first point of actually planning everything, getting a good idea on how the finishes are going to look, making sure you're familiar with the cabinets, how they're going to look. And if you keep looking at the plans on how everything's going to finish, you wouldn't make a mistake like that because you'll be used to seeing that cabinet flush with the divider, and that should be something that's worked out before you even pick up a tool. I actually made another mistake quite similar to that, which kind of goes down into the same category of just rushing into the job, not double checking stuff and not doing the planning. And if we spin the camera around this way, I've got this door here and I've done a video installing this door, but halfway through that video, I had to stop it and I had another headache cutting down plaster and changing the opening. So the door I've actually put in is the exact same size as the old door that used to be here. It was a remove and replace, everything was the same, I shouldn't have had an issue. And because it was exactly the same, I didn't take that 1 minute just to open my tape out and double check the door frame opening, which seems so logical and so stupid right now that I'm kicking myself for not doing it. But when I removed the old door frame and the old door jamb out of that opening, it was shimmied in there so tight. And that door was actually out of level. There's a few gaps here and there. And the opening was about 40 to 50 mil smaller than what I needed it to be. It blew my mind that the opening was that much smaller, but I had no other choice than to actually remove the stud that was in this opening, meaning I had to cut the plaster down on both sides. I had to unscrew and make the header longer. Obviously, replaster the walls. I just had a nightmare trying to fix that. And that was such another frustrating mistake that would have been such a quick fix if I just opened up my tape in the framing stage. So between that and the fridge overhead cabinet, I've definitely learned a good mistake of just taking some time in between the stages, rechecking everything, thinking about everything logically, and not running into the next step of the reno. Now, when it comes to renos, we've got that saying we said before on how everything takes longer than what you expect. The other saying that you might typically hear is that everything costs more than you expect as well. And that was definitely true in this case. We made a rough budget on what we thought everything would cost, going through the floor tiling, obviously the plaster, the paint, the cabinets. But one thing you don't really account for is how many times you got to run off to Mitre 10 or Bunnings and just pick up a few boxes of screws, adhesives, just all that small stuff. And the most frustrating thing about that is most of the time I'd already have the stuff that I'm going to Bunnings to get. Everything was crammed into a few rooms. Our whole living area had the kitchen pushed into there, and the spare bedroom had our appliances sitting in there, and that turned into the storage room. So we also had tins of paint. I had the plaster in there. I had all bits and pieces that I was keeping because I knew it would be useful, and I knew there'd be a point where I had to use it again. The problem is though, when you keep so much stuff, it just gets buried in there. Things get put into boxes, you forget where stuff is. And I screwed up with trying to be too resourceful. I wanted to give everything a second life, try to use every offcut, every spare screw that we had. But because I held on to everything trying to use it, that storage room just filled up and it was way too hard to actually go through and find anything. So that led me to spend more money buying stuff that we probably already had. And the last mistake I made was another one that started the day before we did the reno, and it just compounded and got worse over time. And that kind of ties in with just rushing into the job. There was a lot of decisions that we're making up on the fly. And the big problem we had with that was the decision fatigue. It wasn't too bad to start with, but over time, the renos get pretty hard. You get tired living in a crammed space, trying to work every night. But then while you're doing that, while actively trying to make these big decisions on working out the finishes that you want, the size of the openings, how practically it's going to be if you put doors in your pantry or not. All those small things build up. And it got to a point where most of this kitchen was done. We had the cabinets in, the bench, the splashback, and I was about to start the tiling. And I was pulling my hair out and just could not think of what tiles we wanted. And I think we spent over a week just going to different tile shops, getting samples. And we ended up finishing with a tile which looks good for the space. It's a light white tile, very different to what I originally had in mind. I wanted to do something a bit darker, something almost similar with the bench. But that decision fatigue just wore me out. That week especially, I was starting tiling for the first time. And it was so tough before I even laid that first tile. Just trying to work out the exact tiles that we wanted. And then once I started laying them, I was stressing out, thinking that I did the wrong color, chose the wrong style, and that was going to ruin all the hard work we did with the renovation. The decision fatigue was a big mental toll. And if I was to redo a renovation, I'd at least get a mood board and just work out the exact styles I want for everything. I'd have everything there decided. So when you pick up the tools and start working, you don't have to worry about all the cosmetics and all the finishes that you want. None of the mistakes we had were actually massive, but there were all little things here and there that just added up over time. And I think most of the mistakes could have been avoided with proper planning and just spending time to recheck stuff before every stage. And that's the best advice I can give you if you're doing a renovation. Properly plan everything out and don't install cornice.